Oh my God, you're an overachiever.
What's up, YouTube?
He's an overachiever. Hey, we are back. One more segment of Choke Canyon, bright and early, getting ready for a day of fishing. We're gonna go find Todd and little James Bond because they've already been fishing. All right, so we'll go check them out. I'll show you guys what they're up to, and we'll be right back. They're gonna be all mad for spooking their fish with the coots. They're gonna be like, man, you're spooking our fish.
Hello. I wonder if we're in their way. What do you think?
Huh?
Are we in their way?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
Why do you love South Texas, Hallman? Why you love South Texas? Why you love Lake Amistad? Because nobody can hear me when I say, give her hell! Give her hell! You can't do that anywhere else. You can't. They'll hear you. They'll think you're crazy. There's nobody out here but the alligators and the what are they called? Javelinas?
Javelinas.
Javelinas. Isn't that what I said? Was a javelina? What did I say?
That's all I got. That's all I got, man.
All right.
I'm ready to go. I want to go fishing.
Boy. Right where she's supposed to be, right in that wood. Boy. Don't donkey stick. Yeah. Swing her over the side.
There we go.
Blow her over the side. I like that.
There we go.
All right, we are definitely in one of the prettiest areas that we've seen. We caught a couple bass flipping. And I'm just gonna shoot a video right here with you two GoPros. Y'all ready? So we're gonna do one on flipping the BFE in grass and wood mix. Because today, we have flipped a lot of grass, beautiful hydrilla mats. In this area, as you can see, hopefully off my chest cam, you can see some of these mats. And they, dude, this is like what you're looking for. And you got clear water, so you got a lot of grass. We're sitting here, it's 6 foot deep where we're sitting right here. So this grass is 6 foot tall. And we're in a spawning bay. As you can see, it comes in, that's the lake out there. And then behind me here, that's the back of the pocket. So you're definitely going to have a big push of spawners coming in here. Water temp is 61 degrees this morning, so I mean that's enough for them to actually lock down and spawn. It is the very 1st of February. It's early. We're down on Lake Choke Canyon, Choke, in South Texas, and we got the flipping stick out this morning. Like I say, we've caught a couple. I'm flipping a 1 ounce weight with a 4/0 straight shank, heavy duty Gamakatsu flipping hook. I've got on 80-pound braid. You guys are always wondering what size. I flip Sunline, and Sunline sizes per actual diameter are a little bit bigger and smaller, if that makes sense. So 80-pound on this is about the same diameter as 65 and other brands. So that's why, even though I say I'm flipping 80, I'm really not flipping any bigger line. I'm just flipping the same size. But got the BFE on this morning and BTL. And here, the deal has been, and we're not just gonna get locked in, but really it's been wood. Like, you get bit flipping in some mats. We've had a few, but primarily the sweet spot has been the wood, primarily the wood that's surrounded by grass. And I mean, anytime you're flipping mats, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're in Florida or New York, if you can have a mat with something else in it, something sticking up, whether it be a wood or a lily pads or whatever, I mean, something that's different in a mat, it tends to be a more high percentage spot. But not just overall the best sometimes, but today it really has been about these trees. It really has. A flip just like that one right there have been the ones that seem to be the most successful. I haven't had a bite here in a while, but I will say that watercolor wise and grass mat wise, this is by far one of the best looking areas that we've seen since we've been here on Choke. We're at the bottom end of the lake. There is a pocket down here, I don't know the name of it, but there's only one big cove at the bottom end of the lake is where we are located. So when we catch this 10-pounder here in a little bit, you guys will know how to find it if you're in San Antonio or Corpus or somewhere in the Texas area that you can reach Choke Canyon easily. Okay, what we look for in mats. A lot of times I like a hard edge, something that's hard, just a continuous line, like a creek channel is run down the edge of grass and it can't grow and it makes a hard line. I like hard edges, but I also like isolated clumps, which is more like what you're seeing here in this spawning flat, where it's got holes and spaces in it. Oh, there's one right there. Like I said, these are primarily in the trees today. So you just saw me flipping this grass, and then you saw me flipping that tree. And the tree is where it is, and you don't even see any grass around that tree. And that's really kind of how it's been. That is common for the closer you are around the spawn, just because those fish are going to spawn next to these trees. Some of the trees that we've caught fish out of, though, have quite frankly been too deep for spawners. They're just really on the wood. So like right here where you just saw me flip, you see a giant grass mat, an isolated clump, which I love. And a lot of times that's where I catch them, is in the shade of that mat. But these fish here on this lake right now seem to be on the wood, no doubt. I got upshaw with me today, and it's hard. We get on the front deck and we want to flip every piece of wood there is, so there's not much left for the guy in the back. So he sat down to work on his social media for a minute and gave me a second to try to catch a bass here. Well, it is the best looking area we've seen. And I say that because you have the combination of wood and grass and watercolor and water depth. Like, we've got all the best of both worlds. God, Texas is good. Gonna catch a monster here in a minute. Here's another thing we've noticed today. We focus on, you know, your eyes just go to the biggest trees, like this one that you're seeing me flip right here. And you would think, hey, that's where it's gonna be. But quite honestly, a lot of our bites have come out of the smaller sticks, just a stick all by itself, just one stick sticking up or something, you know. It's not always the hairiest, thickest bush that you actually see. And catch one more here and show you guys what I'm talking about. I'd like to catch one just out of the mat for you guys, because I mean, the mat flipping along with the bushes, there's just a lot here to flip. It's not just the trees, there's a lot of other high percentage targets. So some of these thick grass mats that are isolated clumps out here, and generally speaking, man, that's usually where Big Girl is. She's in that mat, and if there's a piece of tree or wood inside that mat, that's just a bonus. But gotta flip every tree to keep them honest, because they're dang sure on it, as opposed to being on the grass mat itself. Good day for flipping, perfect weather. So like guys ask that question all the time, what's the best weather condition to flip? Obviously sunny, no clouds, things like that. High pressure systems, when fishing can be tough, sometimes flipping can be the only way to catch a fish, just because it's allowing you to present a bait into a tight, heavy cover that's thicker and got its shadows, and it's the only place they can get to get out of the sun if that's what they're wanting to do. but it's definitely very common around the spawn that anything vertical, and I say anything vertical because it could be literally, it doesn't have to be a tree or a piece of wood. It can be a stick, it can be grass, Kissimmee grass, that's vertical. It could be lily pad stems, which are vertical. They like vertical things in the springtime, during the spawn and before the spawn. It really helps them key into where they're going to focus and spend their time over the next month. And I think that's a little bit about what you see going on here as well. Plenty of wood in this lake to flip, that's for sure. I had guys ask questions about flipping this grass. When you get a piece of grass stuck on your bait, do you take it off? I let it ride. Here's my philosophy. When you get a piece of grass on your bait and it comes in from that mat, I just turn around and pitch it right back out there, because generally that piece of grass is going to get hung up on the surface when you go back down next time anyway, so it'll stay at the surface. So I just let it ride, just swing it. I'm not gonna take the time to reel my bait up to fix the grass clump hung up on it. There's a piece of grass, just let it ride. Let it ride. By far the best looking area we've seen, isn't it, Andrew? It's amazing how sometimes we find the best, what we think are the best looking areas we've seen, and then we don't get bit. But boy, it sure would make sense of why we would get bit right here. And 4 to 5 foot grass that looks like this scattered around. Got some trash grass mats, actual grass mats. All right, so here's a question we get asked a lot. What's a trash mat? What's the difference between a grass mat and a trash mat? And trash mat can be caused by 2 or 3 different things. The coots, which you hear and see all around us, they're going down and they're eating the grass, pulling it up off the bottom, creating a problem like that, you know, pulling it all up, and then what's left floats to the surface. A lot of boat traffic, trolling motors, big props, stirring and cutting up grass, and wind, just wind chop and blowing in an area can cause grass to pull up. And it all floats to the surface. And when it floats to the surface, it looks more like this right here. That's a trash mat on top of some grass that's growing. A lot of times it'll blow up against a stick, but it's just another form of shade, really. It's just, think of it like a boat dock, you know, like a floating boat dock with the shade underneath it. That's basically what the trash mat is, a floating dock. This morning, I'd come down here and we'd whoop that ass. Whoop that ass. This is the one we after, dude.
Biggin?
Yeah, biggin. Should at least cross 6. Oh, God, what a fish. I want to blow her over the side, but I ain't sure how big she is. She's hooked good. Oh! I'll go 6. All day. Heck yeah, son. Life's better on the BFE. That's what we came for right there, Bubba. The BFE flipping. Now, if we could do that all day long, how could you have a better day of fishing than just flipping 6-pounders, huh? That's as good as it gets. Blowing over the side of the boat. That ought to be our competition day, flipping this. How big a one can we boat flop? There we go. Right? Instead of flipping them. That's a good one, dude. You, the alligators, and the javelinas. That's what's out here. The javelinas. Javelina. Give her hell! All right, I'm gonna catch one more off this great big gorgeous. Come on, give me one more bite. We can be done with this session. The giant, but it wasn't a peckerhead.
So why are they not holding on to it?
That BFE's balled up on that hook. Couldn't get the point to it. I don't know.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Is it because you're using it for bait?
That one didn't ball up.
Is that a big one?
Yeah. That's a big one.
Yeah, I'll get my camera. I'm just gonna grab a camera.
That's a big one.
Golly, big old head on that one.
Yeah. Oh, blow that one over side. Another 5-pounder.
Heck yeah. There we go.
Another 5. Man, I tell you what, that BFE, I know that's a big one on that I just missed on it, and that's another big one, but I've sure done a lot of flipping. So here's the reality of it. And we'll talk about this. This will be my next video. I'll talk about what you do when the fishing's extremely tough, and you guys aren't gonna like the answer because it's gonna primarily come down to grind, because that's what we've done today. We've grinded, but we've caught 3 or 4 fish that are in this class, and the day's not over, and we might catch a 7 or an 8 to finish it off. I don't know, but we're gonna keep grinding and see what happens. But that's a good fish right there. Really good fish. I want to get this done for you, dude. We're having a great time out here on Lake Choke Canyon in South Texas. If you guys ever get the opportunity to come down here, it's really, really a special place. Can't tell you how much of a good time we're having. We haven't caught as many big fish as we would like. Castle Rock and them been holding out us on a couple spots. They've had some 25 and 30 pound days. We have not. We've kind of struggled along, but still lots of fish catches, a lot of grass, beautiful place. South Texas, enjoy it as always. Guys, remember, if it's your first time here, bump that like, think about hitting that subscribe. We do a lot to put this content out here, like even traveling to South Texas for you. So testing out a few waters. Choke Canyon is everything that it's supposed to be. And until next time, guys, I'm out of here.